Good morning. My name is Tao Yuan and my ID number is 2007-89944. The topic of today's presentation is a critical evaluation of the benefits and drawbacks of using in vitro meat for human consumption. The background of in vitro meat will be delivered by Flora, and the benefits and drawbacks of in vitro meat will be delivered by Chang and Tony respectively, and I'll make a conclusion and a recommendation. Now let's welcome Flora.
Thank you, Christina. My name is Kaplan. My ID number is 2007-43369. Now let's look at the background. It seems that the virtual meat came into force recently, and it's an obvious symbol of modernization. However, this idea came up several decades ago. Now first let's look at an anecdote provided by Churchill in 1932. 50 years hence we shall escape the absurdity of growing a whole kitten in order to eat the breast or wing by growing these parts separately under suitable media. However, we have no evidence why Churchill came up with this idea. Possibly he thinks it's too cruel to kill animals, or he likes eating meat very much. Never mind, this is just an anecdote. However, they really provide us an advisable prospect. Now, let's look at what is in vitro. The definition provided by Oxford Dictionary said that in vitro means taking place in a test tube, cartridge, or elsewhere outside a living organism. This technology has been used in several fields, like the production of yogurt. Accordingly, the in vitro meat is an outcome of in vitro technology. The meat grows in a tank by culturing muscle cells from a living animal and enhancing them with artificial protein. It is worth it to highlight that the in vitro meat is really a fresh meat. And we can see that the in vitro meat may be not one part of the animal's body. Actually, it is the cells and the genes that do really come from animals. And here we need to highlight that the in vitro meat cannot confuse with the imitation meat, which is a vegetarian food produced by the vegetable protein, like the artificial meat or synthetic meat. And the in vitro meat could also be described as a lab-grown meat. Next. And first, let's look at the importance of the in vitro meat. First, let's look at this figure that in 2050, that the population will reach 9.2 billion. And consequently, with the increasing population and the increasing cost of conventional farming meat, the in vitro meat may be one of the significant technology to remain food supplies. To what extent it may be protect people from starvation in the future. And the conventional farming meat is too expensive for average customers to support. And for the significance, the in vitro meat is beneficial for human health due to the additional nutrition. And accordingly, in the Western countries, there is increasing public concerns about animal welfare, and this part will be discussed by Chang in details. And next is the technology. As mentioned above, that the in vitro technology has been used in several fields, like the production of yogurt. However, this technology is still in its infancy. Although the in vitro meat has been successfully created in experiments, this meat has never used for human consumption because there are some questions needed to be answered before it become commonly accepted. And this part will be talked about by Tony in the folio. Okay, that's my part. Thank you very much. Let me introduce Chang to continue. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Chang Yanchao. My ID number is 2007-89922. For the aspect of the composition of the meat, which could provide healthier nutrition for people. First, the fat content includes will be controlled by the supplementation of fat during or after the production. For the traditional meat, most of them are high in saturated fatty acids and low in polyunsaturated fatty acids. The saturated fatty acids is relevant to the development of the heart disease. The polyunsaturated fatty acids is relevant to the blood cholesterol. However, the technology of in vitro meat can control the ratio between them and so it can control the content facts. Therefore, it could provide a healthier nutrition for people. So next is the benefit of the disease and control. The in vitro meat could reduce the foodborne disease as a result of meat contamination. It can, for traditional meat, may cause some disease. For example, the mad cow disease, which is very popular in the world. I think all of you know this. However, the in vitro meat could lower the chance of meat contamination because of the quality control rules, like the good manufacturing practice. But this practice cannot introduce to animal farm or other meat picking plants. In addition, it also could reduce the risk of turning to the pesticides because all of the meats are produced in the lab, so it may be beneficial to control the disease. Thirdly, in terms of the efficiency, for traditional meat, there were a long process for the production. It may have a growth structure which includes muscle, tissue, bone system, skin system, or other nervous system. However, the in vitro meat, this structure no need to grow and support it. All of the produced in the lab with less time, maybe some weeks, it can produce a meat. In addition, the in vitro meat could produce less waste on the use of energy, land, water, and so on. It is more useful to spend a lot of time on production rather than processing the waste. And Flora above mentioned that the population in the world will achieve to 9.2 billion in 2050. So there is a huge demand for of the meat. So the technology of in vitro meat could satisfy the huge demand of meat as soon as possible. The last is exactly came to animals. The in vitro meat could replace the exotic meat. The exotic meat is relevant to the wild species. Well, it means the endangered species. The global trade of meat has reduced the population of wild species. However, for the technology of in vitro meat, it could use the cells from the endangered animals, so it can, rather than kill them, it can also produce the meat the same as the exotic meats. So the endangered animals could live and multiply. Normally, it also can reduce the farm animals, so it provides another way to supply meats for our life. So this is my analysis for the benefit. That's the Tony. I pass to Tony to analyze the drawback of in vitro meat. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Chang Yang. My student number is 2779425. I will talk about the drawbacks of in vitro meat. Firstly, I will talk about consumer acceptance. We can see this picture first. This is in vitro meat. That is really disgusting, isn't it? So just because of shared disgusting, some consumer will not choose the in vitro meat. And the second point, I will talk about the test. According to my friend, 1999, there are still some difference between the in vitro meat and natural meat. The natural meat will be more delicious than the in vitro meat. some customer will choose the natural meat at all. The last point about the consumer acceptance is the texture. According to Chang's presentation and still from Kaplan 1999, we can know that when you make the in water meat, it is lack of fat. Just because of this reason, the in water meat is not as soft as the natural meat. So that some people will think that is weird to eat the in water meat. So they will still choose the natural meat. Second drawback is about the economically competitive. From Dennis and Kosnick 2000, we got some data that the average cost of in water meat is about $5 million per kilogram. That is really a lot of money. If you use the money to buy the natural meat, you can buy up to 1.25 million kilogram. You can eat all of meat from you born until you die, and you cannot eat all of them. So the in water meat is hard to compete with the natural meat. The last drawback is about the difficulty of technology. Now there are still have two more difficulty about the technology. The first one is that if the in water meat you made from the lab, it was we call that soft muscle. It means this meat have not been expressed. That make the in water meat is lack of elasticity, and this makes some difference about the texture. And the second difficulty is about the technology. We call that half-rate limited, which means that the cell cannot breed all the time. It can only maristem about 70 times, and then they will destroy themselves. So if you want to keep the growth of in water meat, you always need the new cells to put. You always need the new cells. That is another problem. I think that if this the in water meat technology will be successful and use the scientists to solve all the difficulties of this solve all of these problems. Now will be Christina to make a conclusion and evaluation.
After we have been presented so far, we know that the in vitro meat is meat that is grown by a tank by culturing the muscle cells from living animals and enhancing them with artificial protein. And the technology is still in its infancy stage, and currently the in vitro meat is not used for human consumption. And we have talked about the benefits and drawbacks of in vitro meat for human consumption. When it comes to the benefits, the first is the composition of the meat. By countering the saturated fatty acid and the polyunsaturated fatty acid, it can reduce the chances of getting heart disease and blood cholesterol-related disease. In this sense, it provides more healthier nutrition to human. The second, the disease control reduces the exposure to pesticides and the toxins, which leading to meat contamination. By just culturing what is needed to be cultured instead of the whole organs, which may include the development of the skin system or the nervous system, it is of highly effective of in vitro meat consumption. And last but not least, it's ethically kind to animals. It just physically stops slaughtering animals and can prevent distinctions of species. While when it comes to the drawbacks, there's a difference in the taste, texture, and a shared disgust and feeling towards in vitro meat. These pose barriers to customer acceptance. Secondly, as the technology of in-vitro meat still in its infancy stage. It means that the unit cost of in-vitro meat at present is still high, and the further development in this technology still incur heavy investment in research fund. So, besides that, there are still difficulties of this technology to be conquered. So there's still a long way to go for the in-vitro meat from the laboratory conditions to massive commercial consumption. Yeah. After a careful evaluation of all the benefits and drawbacks of in-vitro meat for human consumption, our group still holds the stance that people would accept in-vitro meat in the future. Monk in 2000 has suggested that there are external factors forcing people to accept in-vitro meat. With the ever-increasing population, the potential consequence of world hunger can be released by in-vitro meat consumption, and more concerns about food security may push in-vitro meat to a better alternative. While as for people to accept in-vitro meat in a more willing way, we suggest that benefits to be strengthened and the drawbacks to be reduced. While the strengthened benefits in the consumption and the disease control can provide human nutritional health, and the raising concerns about animal welfare may suggest that in-vitro meat probably will be a better choice. And with time and money spent, the technology will gradually grow to maturity to reach the economies of scale at the end. So, or in short, get ready to welcome in-vitro meat. And this is the end of our presentation. Any questions?